Right, the latest news coming in from the Calcutta High Court, which has begun the hearing of contempt petition filed by ED in Sandesh Khali case. The council is reading the communication between the CBI and the CID. The hearing begins before a bench by Justice Harish Tandon. CBI counsel has alleged that they made false statement to our officers that the challenge will be heard by the Supreme Court today. That's the hearing, a crucial one going on at the Calcutta High Court today, and Calcutta High Court has been an important place to watch out for because the BJP has been filing multiple petitions, PIL seeking the intervention of the High Court in what they call is a complete rupture of the law and order, but this one by the ED. Let me cut across to my colleague Ananya, who will give us more perspective. Ananya, some more details, please.
Well, definitely, the Calcutta High Court has now begun hearing, in fact, the contempt petition that was filed by, in fact, the Central Bureau, by the Enforcement Director, And, in fact, the counsels are arguing that, false communications were sent by the CBI, to the CBI officials by the West Bengal CID. In fact, it was also, he was reading down a portion of that particular letter that was sent by the CID to, in fact, CBI, where it was mentioned that the matter before the Supreme Court, the challenge is listed for hearing today. That is, a false statement. What they say is because the matter has not yet been listed before the Supreme Court, and it is being said by the councils of the central government very, very clearly that this is a way to actually thwart the judicial process and to frustrate the orders of the Calcutta High Court. That too, in fact, the orders of Chief Justice of the Calcutta High Court itself.
Absolutely. The Enforcement Directorate and the manner in which it has been facing a lot of disruptions, trying to investigate certain cases, has been the key bone of contention here. Ananya, let's just talk about the key, the key and the basic premise of this entire case. What is it before the High Court today? What are the grounds of challenge?
Well, the Calcutta High Court yesterday passed an order. This was a bench of the Calcutta High Court Chief Justice, a division bench, which had passed an order transferring the case with regards to the attack on ED officials in Sandesh Khali to, in fact, the Central Bureau of Investigation. Challenging that particular order, the West Bengal government filed a SLP before the Supreme Court. However, no kind of urgent listing as of now has been provided by the Supreme Court to them. While before the Calcutta High Court, because there were directions that needed to be complied with by 4:30 yesterday with regards to handing of the case papers, and Mr. Sheikh Shahjahan too, in fact, the CBI was not complied with, and hence, in fact, the Enforcement Directorate, which had actually filed that particular case in which this order of CBI investigation was done, had again made a contempt application before the Calcutta High Court. And now the Calcutta High Court is hearing this particular contempt petition filed by the Enforcement Directorate, and submissions have just now begun. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how things pan out at the Calcutta High Court and whether or not the Supreme Court will come to the rescue of, in fact, the West Bengal government.
Absolutely. Interesting developments have happened in the last few days, Ananya. Not that it's directly relevant, but we have had a High Court judge who has, put his papers, resigned from his constitutional position, wants to take a leap into electoral politics, has been sympathetic to the BJP and, in fact, officially also. But going forward, how critical would be the role of the Calcutta High Court? We have seen in the past as well. The judiciary has been very active in ensuring that the rule of law prevails in the state of West Bengal. How critical and important is this particular hearing? All right, we'll try and connect with my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar and get more details, but this is the ED appeal at the Calcutta High Court. They are reading out various communications that have happened between them and the state CID. They also point out that at various points they were misinformed about the manner in which the proceedings are going on. And the Calcutta High Court, you'd earlier remember, had also intervened into the Sandesh Khali violence and had made certain orders. In fact, it had paved the way through its observations for the arrest of Sheikh Shahjahan. Ananya, back with us on the broadcast. Ananya, what more details do you have from the hearing?
The Additional Solicitor General, Mr. S.V. Raju, is currently arguing before the Calcutta High Court, very clearly going on to say that, there is no order of the Supreme Court there in order to stay the particular Calcutta High Court order. And if at all, this continues, the whole right to investigate of the Central Bureau investigation would go away because, a person's custody can only be sought for the first 15 days. And that is expiring in the next few days, and the Central Bureau of Investigation would not be able to carry out a proper investigation if at all delays would be caused, is what Mr. Raju has been pointing out. In fact, he's saying that by these attempts that the West Bengal government and the West Bengal CID are making, they are frustrating the judicial process. They are frustrating, in fact, the right of the investigation agency to actually probe and impartially probe this particular case. So that's exactly the submission that Mr. Raju is currently making. The hearing is still continuing before division bench of the Calcutta High Court here, and we'll have to wait and watch as to how things actually pan out, Anusha, because a very, very crucial battle coming in at the Calcutta High Court, and all attempts being made on the other side by, in fact, the West Bengal government to secure a hearing, at least a date of hearing from the Supreme Court. They are moving to the registrar and they are making their attempts. The last attempt that they made was in the morning. And they tried to mention the matter before, in fact, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, because the Chief Justice of India is sitting in a 9-judges constitution bench and is not taking mentioning these days. But, it was told to them that, it's the Chief Justice who's the master of the roster, and he will be assigning the particular matter when he'll see the matter in the lunch. And since now the lunch break has begun, the West Bengal government would be making its attempt through the standing council, and in fact, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi and Senior Advocate Gopal Sankar Narayanan, who are making all attempts to actually secure a hearing before the Supreme Court. But whether or not that is granted, will the Calcutta High Court issue a contempt notice to the West Bengal government? All these questions would be answered in the next few hours when both of these courts would actually take a decision.
All right, Ananya, thank you so much for putting all of that into perspective. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you for more on that story. We're stepping into a very short break. We'll keep our eye on the developments at the Calcutta High Court. Stay tuned, stay with us.